Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
I'm Kara.
So, Kara, what have you been up to lately? So, what have you been up to? Anything?
No. Just work.
I was gonna say, I thought you go to Pittsburgh. Oh no, we already talked.
Yeah, I was
about
like, that already
Mm-hmm.
happened.
That
I know,
wasn't
that's why I
right
was
yet.
like, I technically already.
Yeah. No, we already.
I don't think did I talk about how I went on the cruise ever? I don't remember.
No, I don't think you did. So, what happened on the cruise, or what went down on the cruise?
Well, I mean, it was a cruise. Well, actually, if you're curious, I just posted my vlog for the cruise, so you can actually watch my whole experience there on my YouTube channel, Caramel Photography. Shameless plug.
I was gonna say, yeah, okay. Now that we're done plugging ourselves.
What? I think it's
So, how was your trip? How was the Bahamas? You went to the
Nassau.
Bahamas. Nassau. How was Nassau?
Nassau. Yeah, it was fine.
Nassau. Did you do anything cool there?
No. Not really.
No.
I mean, we walked to the beach and we went to Margaritaville.
Ah.
It was just, like, we didn't really do much on Nassau. And then Coco Cay, it was so windy.
It wasn't.
It was, like, cold.
Really?
And you would, like, not think it would be cold on the Bahamas. Because it was, like, 70 degrees most of the time when we were there. And then the wind. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people weren't even swimming or
in
anything.
the water or anything. Really?
Yeah. Most people were just kind of, like, sitting absorbing the sun since it was so cold. It was funny because people kept asking me, because I had, like, the full bodysuit on. They were like, oh, aren't you cold? Or aren't you going to be hot in that? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I was actually not hot. I think it actually kept me pretty warm.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, Fritz had his surgery.
Oh, yeah, the Fritz surgery. I was going to ask you about how he's doing after his surgery.
Yeah. He's doing good, much better. We haven't had any of the breathing episodes that he had before he had surgery. Those have all pretty much stopped. And I have to feed this dog meatball servings of soft dog food, which smells disgusting, and I gotta mush it up in my hand and make it into a meatball for him to eat, because they don't want him eating the food normally, because they're worried it might go down his windpipe, since they've got, one of those flaps kind of put open, that they, partially open now. So we have to be really careful when he eats in that. And he's not allowed to go swimming, or, how, like, he likes to eat the water when you squirt the hose.
Yes.
He likes to, yes. Well, he can't do that anymore. So we have to keep him inside. I know. It's like his favorite thing, because it could go down his pipe the wrong way and cause him to have pneumonia. So. But, I mean, other than that, he's been jumping around, what he's not supposed to be doing. But, I mean, you can only do so much. It's a dog. I can't, staple him to the house. But, I mean, he's been doing really good, all things considered.
That's good.
Yeah. His neck looks really weird, though. He gets his stitches
Oh, he looks weird, yeah. The photo you guys sent, he looks weird. He looks weird naked.
Yeah, I know. You can see his patterning, though, of his
it's cool.
That merle pattern. Yeah, he's been doing fine. His fur's starting to grow back just a little bit on where they shaved his neck, where they had to do the incision. But yeah, he's been doing good. So I guess it was worth it.
Hopefully. Was it expensive?
Oh, we don't even want to talk about it. It was.
Is it worth keeping that little guy alive? Maybe it was his time. I'm just kidding.
It was not. He's only 10 years
I know.
old.
I was just being silly.
I know, but he still has a lot. I mean, he was still trying to play and stuff when he had all that breathing going on. Like, I would throw the ball with Sophie, and he'd go and try and catch it, and then he'd hyperventilate. So, I know. So I knew he still, we had to do it. We could not do it. So yeah, but now he's, like I said, he's breathing so much better. We haven't had any of those episodes since the surgery, so that's good. He was just kind of chilling, taking it easy the best he could. But because he had the surgery, he can't bark. He sounds terrible. It's like he doesn't have it. He can't even bark, really. He just, you can barely hear him. It's so sad. I know. But hopefully, they said eventually he should get his bark back, but it won't be the same as it was before. So we'll see what happens. So that's what's going on with the dog.
Poor little guy.
Oh, I know. He's been going through
Is Sophie being nice to him?
it. Most of the time, yes, but there are like some times where she gets all wound up and she wants to play with him, and she'll start like they used to do like this thing where she'll like kind of lean into him or jump on him because she wants him to play with her. Well, yeah, I'm like, Sophie, you can't do that. He can't play. So then I have to throw her outside for a little bit to calm her down so he can, because then he gets all spun up and he's trying to bark at her, and it's like a whole thing. But no, they're I mean, for the most part though, she does get along with him, so she just wants to play and he can't play yet. And then, oh my god, I feel so bad because we give her these special like bone treats and they're really hard, and he's not supposed to have anything hard for the next like 3 weeks. Well, 2 weeks now, but it was 3 weeks. But so and she loves these things. Well, he loves them too, and he's really bad. Like he'll go steal them while she's sleeping and stuff. But I have to go around and hide them all because if I don't, he'll come and start chewing on them, and he's not supposed to have them, and it could rip out, the stitches on the inside or make his surgery, mess up the surgery. So it's a whole thing here. We're going to Gatlinburg in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for a week. So that'll be fun.
Around your birthday or after?
We're leaving on my birthday on this Sunday. So, and then we'll be gone that whole next week. We asked Uncle Jason and Aunt Lindsay if they wanted to come, so I don't know. They might for the weekend. Not my birthday weekend, but you know what I mean, like the
following weekend.
Yeah, so they could get because Aunt Lindsay's birthday is like 2 days after mine, and then we figured it'd be if they can get Lindsay's mom to watch the kids, they could come down by themselves and have some adult time without children. So,
all right.
You're first this week, right? What do you got for us?
Well, before we go right into it, remember how we were talking about the Paranormal Activity musical a while back?
Yes, I do remember you.
Well, guess what? It's coming to Broadway now. Remember,
really?
It was so it's on Broadway.
It was off Broadway. Now it's on
Broadway.
Now
it's on Broadway. So it wasn't even on off Broadway. I think it was like in a different country, I think. Remember or something?
Oh.
Or I can't remember where, but it was definitely not. But now it's coming.
Wasn't it like England or somewhere, I thought?
Yeah. It was in the UK, I think, is where it was.
That's what I thought.
But now it's coming to the US, and it's going on Broadway. So that's kind of cool.
How exciting. Yeah, we have to see if it's coming anywhere near one of us so we can go see it.
Also, it's on Broadway, so it's going to be on Broadway. It's actually running while I'll be in New York City. So maybe.
Oh. Yeah,
maybe I can convince Gage, because me and Gage were going to go see a musical while we're there for Anime New York City.
Well, there you go. Go see that.
Well, we wanted to go see the Lost Boys musical, because that one's new too. It looks pretty good. The Lost Boys one looks pretty good.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, well, you know what else is now a Broadway musical that we didn't know?
What?
It's called Bigfoot the Musical. I'm not even joking with you. There's a Bigfoot musical.
Stop it.
It's on off-Broadway. It's not on Broadway yet, but it exists.
So this is in New York. Okay.
Yeah, it looks legit. I was like, I watched the trailer. It looks so funny.
Oh my.
Like, it kind of gives me Shrek vibes a little bit. Like, the way that the Bigfoot's treated. He's kind of like Shrek. You know what I mean by like a Shrek vibe?
Like where he's
kind of like an ogre. Yeah, he's like a lonely.
Yeah, and very grumpy and
grumpy, and all the kids are trying to
find him. Probably, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, I guess there's like he's like haunting some town. Normal Bigfoot behaviors. So there's that. Cool. And did you know that there's a Bigfoot emoji now on Apple?
I saw you sent that.
I did. I sent it to you. I was curious if you would. Yeah.
I did get it, but I didn't even pay attention that it was an emoji. But we don't have that on Android.
Have you tried? Or have you looked?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Because I think it's a new. Because sometimes when they release like for the iPhone, they also release them for the Google phones too and everything.
Right.
The emojis.
Yeah, I'll have to look. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. That's cool.
Right.
I always just use the foot for Bigfoot.
But now we got a literal Bigfoot emoji.
I know, that's pretty cool. It took them long enough. I mean, they had the alien one for years.
Well, I mean, I know, but Bigfoot's like a cryptid. He's kind of like a anomaly,
I know. Maybe next we'll get a Mothman one.
That's what I was hoping for. How cool would that be?
That
Or
would
a
be
Loch
cool.
Ness Monster one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
See?
That could work.
But yeah, that's your new very unusual paranormal news for the day.
Yeah,
So,
all these plays that we didn't know about.
yeah, that are like themed or like adjacent to kind of the podcast a bit.
Yeah, interesting.
So, today we'll be talking about a disappearance on a cruise ship. Thought it was pretty themed. I had never heard about this. This is actually kind of recent too. Well, not like recent, but like 2011. So that was kind of it's pretty fairly recent.
Pretty recent. Yeah.
And guess the cruise line.
Carnival?
No, it's surprising.
Disney.
Yeah.
Really?
Did you know that someone went missing on a Disney cruise before? That's pretty crazy, right?
No, but there's something. Wasn't there just like a big, huge story about Disney?
Yes. Oh, did you see that?
They canceled. Yeah, they canceled
Wasn't
those
like
people's vacation right after they had been on it.
Like, wasn't there like pedophiles or something, or I don't know?
Yeah, because there was a bunch of pedophiles that were working for Disney, and they had to cancel their
on that
trip
specific cruise.
Yes, that was insane. And they didn't gave people like time.
Yeah.
Be able to book like a flight back home and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some TikToks about it, like some people who were on the cruise. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be pretty torqued off.
But let's talk about this, because this is kind of an interesting story. So on March 22nd, 2011, 24-year-old Rebecca Coriam disappeared for the Disney Wonder cruise ship. So it was the Disney Wonder specifically, if you're curious. So at 5:45 a.m., there was security footage catches Rebecca pacing while she's on one of the phones of the ship, and she were to be upset and distraught. And a man came up to her and asked if she was all right, and replied that she was fine, and then put down the phone. And after that, she was never seen again. So at 9 a.m., she didn't show up to her shift, so that's when she was reported missing.
Oh, wait, she was a worker on the ship? I didn't realize
Yes.
that.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I had to mention that. She was a cruise ship worker.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So So the security footage was actually showing her on the private cruise for the workers. You know, like a cruise deck for workers or whatever, like a cruise lounge or cruiser lounge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's where she was last spotted, or the last. Well, what Disney was willing to present, I should say, because you never know, because we could So this is how things kind of get interesting. So this happens 9 a.m. She's not shown. They search the ship for her, and then the Coast Guard does a sweep of the water outside, but they kept going as well. Obviously, they alerted the family, and the father was upset because they did not stop the ship or anything. You know, they just kept going.
Weird.
Which, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. I can kind of see where you don't want to stop the whole thing, but still, it was a worker. It wasn't just not that it matters if it was a passenger, but still.
Right.
So the investigation of her disappearance got a little complicated because of how, you know how jurisdictions on, crime investigations work, you know? How it...
Yes.
So it gets tricky on cruise ships, because it's based off of where the cruise ship is registered.
Right.
So that's how
all Disney's registered out of the Bahamas,
not
the U.S.,
yes.
correct? Yes.
So,
yes. Okay.
Instead of, actually where they were, I believe, was in Mexico, was where when this went disappeared. But because it was the cruise ship, or you know what I mean, it was technically the Bahamas took over.
Okay.
The investigation. So Disney sent out an investigator to go to the ship, and they end up meeting with the parents to go over what they found or whatever. And his theory, the investigator guy, was that she was swept away by a rogue wave, since they found a single flip-flop near a pool. But I feel like there would be more people who would have seen a wave like that,
right,
to knock someone off,
or they would have felt it. I mean, that had to have been a pretty big wave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think they did the math, and where she was, it would have had to be a 500 or 100-foot wave. Okay, which that's
would have felt that.
Someone would have seen it too, or literally anyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when we were on our cruise ship, we actually hit rough water.
Yeah,
and the ship was tilting. You know what I mean? And you could see the waves.
Did I tell you
we were out in the ocean
about how our cruise the first night was like that?
Oh, really? No.
It was really bad. Like, it was so bad, like, almost, like, a lot of the people in, like, our, like, group got sick that night. That's how, like, a lot of people just kind of turned in early because it was so rough. But, yeah, like, you can feel it, though. But no one else, and I believe they checked the weather, and that weather was, like, calm. So it shouldn't have been, like, crazy waves.
Yeah, there's no way it was a wave. That sounds weird.
So that was kind of just suspicious. And the family was like, I don't know about that. But also, the shoe that they were like, oh, well, we found this flip-flop, so we think it was hers. It wasn't even, like, the size of her shoe.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
There was another person's name written on the shoe. So they're like, what? So an investigator went on the cruise ship, like a journalist, and a lot of the crews, they were like, can't talk about anything, you know, because, and Disney as well. That's why it's suspicious, because you know how Disney is, how they are they don't want bad things associated with their name. Like, you know, like if you die in Disney, they'll like take you outside. So a lot of people are speculating maybe something did happen. And they covered it up just so they wouldn't have to deal with the press, because it's a lot easier to write off, oh, she just fell in the water or whatever. You know what I mean? So a crew member was like, oh, well, they have footage, so whatever happened to her, they at least know. Because it is suspicious they only had the footage of her there. Why were there not? I feel like they would have cameras everywhere because it's Disney.
Right. Yeah, that is weird.
That's the only footage of her. I mean, there has to have been other, like, I don't know. It does seem very suspicious.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised they didn't see her walking around the ship or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, literally after that point, there's like the 3-hour gap of like when people realized she was missing to when she. And then there was apparently another person on the ship said that they think that she went overboard at 3 a.m., which doesn't make any sense, because what about the footage at like the 5:45 a.m.?
Yeah, that is weird. Huh.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, obviously. You know how people, like, as soon as something, they're like, I'll bring out forward. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
People want to get in on the tension.
Yeah, they'll try to speculate and all that, yeah.
And get on the limelight. So, Rebecca's former girlfriend randomly came forward in 2017 to say that the day before she disappeared, they had a threesome with a third party, and she was speculating that she may have taken her own life because of that, and like the emotions surrounding that. But however, Rebecca's family did not believe in that at all, and they were like, that didn't seem like her personality, or like whatever. Yeah, it seems very odd. But so they were kind of a little sus of the investigation. It turns out only 6 crew members were interviewed.
That's it?
Yes!
1,000 of people on a cruise ship? That's insane.
And no passengers on the cruise ship were interviewed. Isn't that weird? It sounds like they were like definitely trying to cover, either cover something up or, and they did no forensic investigation.
That's strange.
So it was a lot of more questions than answers on how Disney was even handling it.
Right.
But the Bahamas, the Bahama government were like, "Yep, it's totally she fell off." That's kind of like what the current ruling is, you know, other than people.
Oh. Got you. Make it up.
Legally, that's what, like, you know, the law came upon, but the parents are obviously still upset.
Right.
I know a lot of people think it was also maybe trafficking, but, like, still, on a Disney ship seems odd.
But nobody could track, like, where they took her. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird that they couldn't follow her around the ship to see where she went.
Yeah, like, why was it the last?
Because there's cameras all over their ship.
Yeah, they should have it, like, from almost most of the hallways, I feel like.
Right. Yeah. I agree. That's crazy.
I thought it'd be interesting to cover a cruise ship disappearance since my vlog just came out.
Oh, yeah.
How convenient.
Very convenient.
The Disney Wish was actually docked next to us in Nassau.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of their ships. But that's what I have for us today. What do you have for us today? I see your haunted doll, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Do you see her in the background back there?
Yeah, I don't like her in the background. She's ominous.
Ooh, I know, right?
What if she starts moving?
Well, let me know if you see her moving.
I'd be more concerned for you.
She ain't gonna hurt me. So anyway, there was a story that I found on TikTok that apparently has been going on for over a year now.
Oh.
about this gentleman that claims he lives in a haunted house. He has this home. I don't know where it is. But his name's Kyle Anthony, and you can find him on TikTok. And I think he's also on Instagram. But anyway, so he has his home, which he claims is haunted. So him and his girlfriend moved into this old house, and they decided they wanted to renovate it. So they're starting to do stuff. When they're starting to tear down some of the walls and that to repaint them, or to do whatever they're going to do, they start finding strange things were found inside the walls of the home. And one of the things that they found was this doll, like this really weird doll, and her eyeballs had been removed from this doll. And so he's got this doll. Apparently they found out her name is Shelly. The doll's name is Shelly. And Shelly keeps giving them little clues as to where other items might be located in the house. Like he said the one day he was walking down the hall, and all of a sudden he heard like something drop on the floor. And he went and looked around, and he found a penny, like a wheat penny, in the middle of the floor. And him and his wife don't have a lot of cash. They don't use cash. They mostly just use credit cards. So they didn't really have any cash on them at the time. And neither one of them had any change for sure. So they don't know where the penny came from, but it just appeared like out of nowhere and like in the center of their floor in their home. So the doll Shelly ended up leading them up to, he has an attic over his garage. Okay, this is an older home, so there's actually a garage in there. So now nobody's been in this attic forever, you can tell, because there's tons of cobwebs and stuff. And they have some boards up there over like the beams and that, so you can walk across, but it really wasn't used for storage or anything. You know what I mean? So he gets this really high powered flashlight, and he's shining around up there, and he realizes that there is an object that is hidden behind, like it's like in the middle of the attic, and it's like on top of one of the beams for the roof, and you can see it, and it's like something, but they don't, he doesn't know what it is. It ends up being a box. So he goes and he goes to get the box, and he opens it up, and he finds like all this stuffing from like an inside of one of the dolls in there, and he unwraps the stuffing. And that's all that I knew. There was like these 3 things of stuffing. And when he starts unwrapping this like stuffing, jewelry falls out. There was like a gold bracelet that came out of the stuffing that was in this box. There was a like a brooch that had the S initial on it with like a there was like a cherub on the S. It's hard to explain it. You can go on that TikToker's website, Kyle Anthony, and he's got like video of it on there. They believe that the S pen belonged to Shelly, that it's like Shelly's S pen. So, for the initial of her first name. So he finds all this stuff because, Shelly led them to it. Well, then, a couple nights later, him and his girlfriend are in their house or whatever, and they start hearing like banging on the ceiling. And, they can't figure out where the banging, they don't know where the banging's coming from. It's just the 2 of them, and they have 3 cats, but the cats are all like in the same room with them when this banging noise sounds from the attic or whatever. So, one evening he decides he's going to go up to the attic to see, why, this banging is going on. What are they trying to do? What do they want him to find? Well, he goes up there, and there's this huge box in the middle of the floor. And he opens up, so he goes up there, and it's like a Christmas box. And it's, something like Merry Christmas or, something like that. So he opens it up, and inside the box, there, he finds a journal.
Oh.
He finds a journal that's written in some, like they're using numbers. It's like a cipher. So instead of actually like writing in like letters to form words, they're actually using numbers to make words. And he also discovers there's a couple of candles in there. Oh. And one of them looks like it had been used. and they had been there was like a pillar candle that had been used. There was two like taper candles, like tall thin candles that were wrapped in cloth, and then there was this journal in there, and then there was this weird bell with like perfume in it. It was like an Avon perfume bottle from the 1970s, he said, that was also in there. And when he decided he wanted to try and decipher, the diary that he found. It's basically a diary. And he starts to decipher it, and what he deciphers is very weird and strange and ominous and creepy. But it talked about the doll's name was Shelly, and that Shelly was evil, okay? And that Shelly needed to remain in her space or something to that. So he keeps the doll without the eyeballs, mind you, and he like drives her around places like because the wife does not, or the girlfriend does not like him leaving that doll behind, because she says it's like staring, into her soul and stuff. So he took the doll with him one night and went to Domino's to go get pizza for him, and took the doll for a ride with him while he went to Domino's.
What the heck?
I know, it's silly. But also, this is the crazy part. So on top of finding the doll, he found stone box, okay? And it's made of like almost like pearls, like pearl seashells, like the pretty inside of the seashells. And they made it into like this carved box. And when he opened up the box, the eyeballs for the doll were in the box, and it had been hidden in the wall in their house. They found it in the wall when they were doing some work. So they have this strange doll with missing eyeballs, and then this box with all this weird stuff that's like, people are like, oh my God, it's a ritual. Somebody performed some type of ritual in that house. You need to get out of there. You should not be disturbing any of that. Put it all back. And he's like, oh no, it's okay. So then the one night he's like, okay. And they also are having issues with the electric in their home. Like, he said that they will, with their doorbell too. He said, like, at random times during the day, they'll just be, sitting in their living room or family room, whatever, watching TV. And the one night they were actually in bed, and their doorbell rang like 3 times. And every time they went to go, look, there was nobody there. It was just like randomly going off. They have random lights in their house that go on and off on their own during no set time, just, randomly they'll go off. Especially there's a light in their one bathroom light is constantly going off and on. And he said you can see it like when they go out and they come back to the house, when they're driving back into their driveway to go into the house, they can look and they can see the light in their bathroom through the front, the window in the front of their house. They can see the light going off and on. Also up in the attic, there is like one light bulb in this whole attic. And he said every time he tries to go up there and do anything, the light bulb will go out. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even be going up in that attic. They also have a, this is like I said, it's an older house.
Yeah.
Well, they also have a true basement, but they also have a crawl space, okay? And in the crawl space part of their home, he's found all kinds of, like crazy tokens, like he's found buttons and, just weird stuff like that in there. But the crawl space is like really creepy. He actually, has video footage of like, orbs in the crawl space. And he also has, he says he's caught a ghost on one of it. He got a camera eventually in the crawl space to see what was going on, to keep an eye on it. He also got a camera for the basement, because down in their basement they've been having he's caught orbs of light just appear out of nowhere, and they'll blink a few times and then they disappear. So he has a camera down there watching that to see what's going on. The one time he thought it was a frog, but people were like, no, I don't, we don't think it's a frog. It might be like, a ghost trying to come through or something. But this has been going on since like April of last year, and he just had a recent video that he uploaded recently where he was up in his attic again, it was the attic. He keeps going up in the attic, and that's where he's been finding all this weird stuff. And it's weird how everything that he finds fits together with this doll Shelly and some of the other items that he's found in his home. It's like strange how weirdly all these things like fit together. And the journal was really weird. Like on top of, me telling you about how there was the person was trying to hide whatever it was they were writing by using some type of like glyph or, one of those types of things. They actually had pictures drawn in there of this like weird, dark looking entity type thing that, that they had drawn and it looks creepy. Like, I'm like, dude, why are you messing with this stuff? Like, why are you lighting a candle when clearly, all roads point to something not good happened there? Now, a lot of people are claiming that based off what they've seen him find in that some type of ritual, like a black magic ritual, might have been performed on his property. And that's why those items were hidden in his home where they were. Because, they had candles, and the candles were wrapped in a cloth. So we don't know if it's like cloth from somebody's dress or something or what. But yeah, and then like, he's lighting a candle that he doesn't even know what it was used for, and he's just lighting it. I'm like, dude, that's bad.
Weird.
You're going to have some bad juju coming.
I mean, obviously.
But yeah, so this stuff is still going on. He's still having strange things happen in his home. He's still finding all kinds of crazy stuff in his walls and his attic and all that. But like I said, his name is Kyle Anthony, and you can check him out on TikTok. It's very interesting, and it's like I said, it's very now. So, if you like to watch stuff like while it's happening and very recent, then this might be the story for you. I highly check it out. You got to check out the doll Shelly. She is creepy as I'll get out. He's talking about actually fixing her eyeballs. He found 2 sets of eyeballs in that house, by the way.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, they're doll eyeballs. They're not real eyeballs. They were just doll eyeballs. But it's still weird that somebody pulled the eyeballs out of the doll and threw them in a separate part of the home from where he found the doll. But he also found another set of eyeballs, and then I want to say like a couple months ago, he ended up finding another doll, but the doll was missing her head. And he believes that was the doll's, like, her body, her stuffing inside of her body looked like the stuffing that the jewelry I told you about that they had found in the box in the attic had been wrapped in. So he thinks this doll, she had taken the stuffing out of whoever, owned the doll and all that, had taken the stuffing out of the doll to wrap the jewelry in and then hid it in the attic. But the other doll's eyeballs are missing too. So he's talking about, and he found the head finally for the other doll. So he's trying to like piece the one doll back together, and the other doll just needs her eyeballs put back in. So it'll be interesting to see if things really pick up once he gets these the doll's eyeballs back in her. If they start having, more hauntings and stuff happening in their home. I thought that was really cool and interesting, and I thought everybody might might find that interesting to go research yourself and check it out.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, alright.
Yeah, I mean, this doll, I'll have to send you a photo. She's creepy looking. I wouldn't want to meet her on a street corner, that's for sure. And then his cats, he's got 3 cats. They're very reactive to things that happen in the house. Like the one cat will just stare and hiss at like corners in the home and stuff, so it's interesting.
Huh. That's ominous.
Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah, that's all I have.
If you enjoyed the podcast today, please be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at 2scaredycats podcast. And don't forget to leave a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show get discovered. And tune in 2 weeks for our next episode. And to you, all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity didn't kill these 2 scaredy cats.